Rotating the fans part 3. So it's been another week, and I have a pile of fans piling up in here in the guest room. So before we kind of put them to their kind of resting spot, I shouldn't say resting spot, this doesn't sound like they died, but put them to their final place of where they'll be, I guess you could say living. I don't say storing because I like to display them. I like to kind of run them for a week since I have the opportunity. They come in the front door, come into this room, and then they go to the basement. So this past week, I ran this Edison. I love this fan. Love this fan. It's a precursor to the comfort fan. You can see it's all metal. It's clanky and loud like every Edison fan is, but I should say loud in the sense that it rattles. But this was, I enjoyed using this one this week. And from the outside, it looked really cool too. It had a very 60s feel to it. I just missed these. Yes, I have the HV Air King and all that stuff, but I just missed these big oval blades, 3 blades. It just screams to my early childhood. And even then, in my early childhood, these were 20 years old. But they were everywhere, even in my early childhood, still in use. So we're gonna pull this one out. This is a fan that really I don't want to see it get used a lot because it's in really, really awesome shape, like pristine shape. I don't know, somebody must have had this fan and just never used it. So I really don't want to invite any unnecessary wear and tear on it. Like there's already marks from the window, which is just coming off my finger. But this will kind of be more of a museum piece. Those who follow the channel know I have pretty much a duplicate, just slight variant, that is not in as great a shape, that I originally got probably about a year or 2 before this one, because these were hard to find. And that fan needs some restoration. It still runs and everything, but it has rust on it and whatnot. That one I might make, as I kind of restore it, use that one as the restored one as kind of like my one that I use, is what I'm trying to say. So we're gonna stick with the McGraw Edison theme. Oh, what a big shocker, right? And we're gonna do kind of a rare thin-in light. So most thin-in lights are this cabinet, but with the white blades, right? This, like the comfort fan, has the translucent blades. And I didn't know it existed until this popped up on eBay a few years back, and I, of course, had to have it. Got it. I know how some of you feel about banana blades. I know how you feel about them. I like the look of them. I like the full-size blades better. But again, we had a thin and light when I was a kid. We had a white bladed one with the metal grills on both sides. Most of the thin and lights have metal rear grill, plastic front grill. I have both. I think I own every variant of the thin and light generation, even the predecessor to the thin and light, which we'll get to at some point. Okay, so these are pretty much look like, when you see it like this, it looks like a comfort fan with banana blades on it. So really not a lot of difference. Handle on this one's missing, but other than that, this fan is in really, really good shape. So here we go. These are all noisy. I'll turn it down. Yeah, what I remember about this one is it's a noisy bugger, and I haven't gone through it to see if it's the grill. Sometimes these grills, you can improve that vibration sound if you put washers on the bolts on the grill. But this one could just be a balance issue. I'm trying to look at those blades. So we'll just leave it like that. Who wants to listen to that? So we'll leave it on low. that might be a project down the line to deal with that. But because this is kind of a one of a kind fan for me, and I only have one of these, and this is in fantastic condition. I probably won't be using it much, short of times like this where I rotate it in for a little bit of time. So it's not high on the priority list for me to tear it apart and figure out why it vibrates so significantly on high. All right, so let's go to the second window upstairs. Okay, so upstairs in my daughter's room, she normally runs a purple cool colors, but she's been at the cottage all summer, so take advantage of swapping out fans in her window. So here we have I guess you could say, the original blue cool colors. White handle, knob. This is the one that people, out of the two blues, this is the one that people seem to want the most. Because this is discontinued, I've kind of held on to it. I bought this in 2020 to use, I think to use at the Midwest location. I used to have that work location. And originally I think I wanted to stick it in my office. And even on low, it was a little too noisy. So I ended up just kind of using it there for a little while in the hotel I was staying at before I had my apartment, because I would stay for 2 weeks at a time and I would pop this in the window and use it. So I still have the original box, and it will go back in the box. And I haven't thought about what to do with this fan, because it's weird to say like basically a blue 3733 is a collector's item because they don't make it anymore, but I have it, and you know, maybe at some point I'll let it go to a collector who would be really into it, but I wouldn't sell it to somebody who would just use it. So we're gonna replace it with the newly acquired Lakewood. Love these fans. Lakewood 200i. No, a Lakewood is not a first, second, or third gen. I get that, but these windows and these smaller fans get me nervous, and that they're gonna come tumbling out. That seems to be okay. All right, so let's crank it up. It's not as noisy as that cool colors. That's much better than me. All right, let's see what they look like on the outside. All right, complete with sun on my face. Let's get closer here. Wow, I can really feel the air coming off of this. What I like about these thin-end lights, I think the metal grille on the front looks cool. Like, they basically use the same grille from the rear, because you have the two support posts that come down the front, where in the rear that's where the motor would be mounted to, but I think it looks freaking cool. You know, this is the only fan I know that they made the translucent thin-end light, or banana blades. I don't think they did it with anything else. Like these dark blades, well, they did the gray banana blades later on the Toastmasters that had a more traditional motor mount versus into the grill. And then we can, I got the wire up there, but you can see the 200i and hear it. That's the wire to it. But as you know, the Edison's on low because of that obnoxious vibrating sound. All right, so this is rotating through the box fans, part 3 or week 3, whatever you want to call it. Stay tuned for next week. We're just gonna, as they come in from the other location to this location, we will rotate them through before we put them away. Something I really don't do. I usually stick with fans. Whatever I put in the beginning of the season stays till the end of the season, and usually I use the same ones every season and just mess around with some of the vintage ones on videos. But here you have it. So thanks for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll see you soon.